Hey guys, thanks for tuning in again for another Coach's Q&A. I got one of my buddies on today, Kaitlyn Cunningham. She is the Assistant Director of Basketball for Strength and Conditioning at Clemson University. I guess Kaitlyn and I went back, a couple years. Don't really know how our friendship started, but I mean, who really knows in this industry where it all started? But hey, Kaitlyn, for those of you that don't know you, why don't you tell us a little bit about yourself, kind of what you do and what you're about?
Yeah, absolutely. Well, number one, thanks for having me. Normally I'm you with my podcast, so this is kind of cool to be on the other side. Let's see. Grew up in Chicago or outside of Chicago. I'll keep it simple. We won't get too in depth on the exact location. Played soccer at the University of Kansas and was so fortunate to be an intern with Hootie and her staff, specifically Molly McKinnon. So two huge female mentors within my career path. Started out immediately and then actually went with one of Hootie's other staff members to the University of Vermont. That's a crazy place. Thank God I was there in the summer, because if I was there in the winter, I probably wouldn't have made it back.
Go Catamounts.
Right. So that was really cool experience. It was a paid internship, so I kind of had a little bit of a kick in the behind to get my certification. Otherwise, I wouldn't have been able to take that position. And then not even a month into it, Hootie called and said, "Hey, I need your resume, cover letter, and you need to send it to these people because they need a female GA." So I said, okay, great. So from there, I ended up at Eastern Illinois. Worked with Jimmy Garoppolo. That was pretty cool. Who's now with San Francisco. I don't know if he's still there or not. Who knows, with all these trades and all that fun stuff going on. And then was there for a year. The gentleman who hired me, Eric Cash, called. He had left to take another position and said, Clemson's looking for a female to work with women's soccer. And I said, under one condition I'll go, is that I can finish my master's, because both Hootie and Molly told me that, that education is going to take me further than any experience probably could in this field. So came to Clemson in 2012 and have been here ever since. Just moved over to the basketball world, good Lord, 6 years ago. Here I am.
That's awesome.
So
that little piece of advice that you honed in on about your education taking you farther, that's something I'm so happy you said it and you had people to teach you that, because there are so many young coaches where I think, they see the job and they're like, I got to go for it, instead of actually sitting back, gaining a broader perspective. And when we're younger, that's a little difficult, right? We don't always see the whole picture. But listening to those that came before you to say, hey, listen, yeah, this is an amazing opportunity, but what are they doing for you?
Mm-hmm.
Like, this is a position, like what they're asking for you is to serve them. But I think it's so important, not only what you were taught, but what you did, is said, okay, well, I'll do this for you, but you got to do this for me. And not only as a young coach, but also a young female coach, I think that's so huge. And it really is a testament of your mentors making sure that they guided you and kind of, helped you along this path, and, really kind of gave you some key components to help navigate, to navigate where you're at right now. Because I think a lot of young coaches, sometimes they're too eager to just jump into that role instead of seeing really what's best for them. And I think that also leads to a faster burnout. When you do get so excited and you just throw yourself into a role when maybe you're not ready, or maybe it isn't the best situation for you. So I think that's
and at the end of the day, how many people do we know that are retiring as strength coaches? So that education can help me, who knows, get into administration, or take on some other role in some other company. At the end of the day, I could probably list on one hand how many people have retired in this field, as crazy as that sounds. But
yeah, no, for sure. What was your education background? What were your degrees?
So the University of Kansas was exercise science, and my master's is sports administration.
Okay. And with that, I see that it's a handful of people that they do exercise science, they do sport administration. Some people do athletic training. I think that's great. What's your opinion on, that mix of education instead of just doing exercise science for all 6 years? Do you see that as an advantage? Do you, kind of what do you take from it?
I think there's stuff that obviously you need to learn from that educational side. I think, golly, I learned a ton from Dr. Fry and all those professors at Kansas, exercise science wise. But if I would have gone and done a master's exercise science, I feel like it would have just been redundant. I think I got more from the experience of coaching. Hootie said it yesterday when I was watching her on Instagram Live. If you want to be a great coach, go coach. You can learn all you want in the classroom, but that doesn't make you a great coach. It's all about connection and how are you giving that information to those student athletes? Because if they don't understand it, you're not doing them any justice. So.
Yeah, absolutely. That's awesome. So let's shift it a little bit and talk about, you talked about your education, kind of your time and, how you got to where you are today. But let's talk a little bit about your passion. I mean, obviously there's a reason why you're here, and it's because you're passionate about strength and conditioning, but what makes Kaitlyn fill up at the end of the day? What makes you kind of reset, restart, and make sure that you can show up for these student athletes every day?
Sure. Well, number one, them. I got 1, 2, 3, 4 FaceTime calls yesterday from girls just asking questions about the workout. And I made sure to tell them, like, this was the best part of my day. You're the third person that I've talked to, and I'm smiling ear to ear. But my number one mission with these kids and, Clemson women's basketball is to create an empowering environment that inspires personal growth for a championship season. So, obviously we have a lot of obstacles right now because I'm not there with them. So that changes a lot, but connection is the huge one. It trumps communication. I can spew all the information to them all the time, but if we don't have that connection, then it means nothing, honestly. So how do I do that virtually? I don't know. We're still figuring all that out. But I just want them to be the best. And when they do succeed or things do kind of climb towards that best for them, I'm the first person to get super pumped up, and I will tell the entire world about it. Check my Twitter or Instagram. I'm sure you can find plenty on there. I was bragging on a soon-to-be senior last night, and she was like, "Stop it! You're gonna make me cry." So, but I just want them to be the best. At the end of the day, how many of them are gonna go play professionally? Maybe a handful, maybe none. Who knows? So, what life lessons can I teach them through the things that I do to make them be successful when they leave? So.
Yeah, that's awesome. It's definitely obvious, how you hold yourself and, how you coach and stuff like that. And what is there anything kind of outside of strength and conditioning or outside of work that you know, say hypothetically this isn't going, the world isn't what the world is right now, and you can do something like what's something that you love to do outside of work?
I love talking to people. That's probably a downfall as much as it is a strength. Um, but anything in the people realm, that would be something I would do. But then I just posted this actually on my Instagram yesterday. I love Photoshop. Um,
Nice.
taking pictures, editing things. I love doing it for work, but I think that could be something I would have to be taught because Lord knows, don't give me the camera right now. But I would think that would be fun. Again, still building connections with people. That would be kind of cool. So
That's awesome. Yeah, no, I think I took a photography 101 in college, and we had to do Photoshop, and Lord, I don't remember a lick of that stuff. We had to take pictures with like old school, not even old school cameras, just non-digital cameras. And, like even 10 years ago, more than 10 years ago when we were in college, like the digital camera, it was still kind of coming out, but having to hold and learn how to zoom and focus and all that kind of stuff.
right.
I give you a lot of props for that because it's just not my jam. Like,
This is what I know how to use it on.
this is girl, same. But no, I actually kind of getting onto those like computer software programs and stuff like that to do stuff like that. I think it's huge. And I mean, there's ways that you can, like you said, help others and create a conversation with others. And, I even know that, sometimes it's also you already said it, connecting with other like even connecting with your athletes on that level, because, now day and age, student athletes tend to be a lot better on that digital side. So you have a lot more student athletes being interested in doing something like that, or digital marketing or graphic design and stuff like that. And, my older brother's a graphic artist, and, he's now a creative director. And, I try to talk Photoshop with them, but it's just, I am learning another program to help on, the PLAE flooring side. However, major props with, everything from layering to
there's a lot that goes on, and people know more than I do. I just know enough to get myself in trouble. That's all.
Yeah, no, that's awesome. Let's jump back to your connection with the athletes. And, obviously we're going through quite a daunting time, and, it's not ideal by any means, and y'all's season got cut short and stuff like that. I had a chance to talk to a few other, basketball strength coaches in the last couple of days, and everyone's pretty much taking a similar approach, but they have their own spin and creative ideas with it. So talk a little bit about maybe, yes, you had girls FaceTiming you yesterday, but is there anything that you're doing to, keep that connection, hold them accountable, anything creative that maybe y'all are doing?
Yeah. So, the first thing, before I get into the fun stuff, is I'm adding challenges into their training. So we use Train Heroic, and if you publish it, they get an email saying you published the workout. So I'm going to have to wait until the very last minute to publish the challenges. That way they don't know what's coming. But I asked them, like, we can't post it on social media. Thank you, NCAA, or whatever conference came up with these wonderful rules. So within our team, staff, student athlete group chat, if people are willing, obviously it's all optional. Lord have mercy, don't get me in trouble. But post that challenge. So, maybe it's come up with an exercise with an implement that you can find around your house. And I just want to see, like, how creative can people be? Do you go and get your milk jug out of the fridge and do some curls? Do you go outside and use a picnic table to do, I don't know, step ups or back extensions? I don't know. We'll see how creative they get, or if they even do it. At the end of the day, they have a choice. So,
laundry detergent jugs are always my go-to for.
There you go. I hope no one listens to this, because they're going to use that.
Yeah.
And TikTok is the other thing that we've been utilizing to build a greater connection with the kids. So the first time I used it, I delivered a message about hydration. I sent, my big laundry list of, here's your workout, here's where you need to log in. If you have problems, let me know. And then I said, wait, make sure you're staying hydrated. And then it was a video of me drinking water, getting some curls in, because, water helps me grow. And then I think the song was like, grow like a tree. So I flashed the camera up to the tree. For good humor, check out my TikTok. And our staff actually came up with this. So this is not my idea. I believe is our video coordinator. We are doing a March dance off. So for everyone who misses basketball, your basketball team at Clemson women's is doing brackets, regionals, the whole shebang. I think I'm moving on to round 2. Yeah. So watch out for my white girl dance moves, because those are coming out hot and heavy. I have no rhythm, as my partner has told me, who was on the dance team in high school. She said I am miserable. So another pure enjoyment, go to Clemson women's basketball. I think you can see it on Twitter, but Instagram is kind of that main platform that they're hosting all that through. So that's kind of 3 ways that we're connecting with our kids.
That's awesome. That's awesome. I mean, it's funny. I saw the message last night, and I jumped on there, and I think we had already started talking and planning like this conversation today. And I mean, I went on there, and y'all got all your coaches involved. Like, everybody is on that bracket, and I didn't check out everybody, but I did see your competitor. I thought you had that little a little bit more swag. Like
know?
that was a good little ending. I think that's what's really is going to push you on. I did go ahead and vote for you. When I did vote, you were at 56%. So hoping that pulls through. But no, I mean, I think it's phenomenal entertainment. And again, it goes back to the connection and being creative. And it's like, how can we get into our athlete's mind and really kind of understand where they're at and what makes them, no pun intended, tick? And, you know, like actually just like, you know, like I said, get in their minds and understand, you know, what their thought process is. Because and I think someone alluded to this the other day, is like us as strength coaches, we are usually so type A and so organized and committed and determined. And, you know, our athletes, I mean, they're just not there yet only simply because they have not aged yet.
Sure.
So there is a gap, and it's like, okay, how can we close that gap? And I think what you guys are doing is not only very entertaining, but you know, it's a great way to get everybody involved.
Our Dobo, who we won't give ages, but she was out on the golf course. She performed her TikTok, and at the very end, she like reached behind her back, like she had thrown her back out. So the head coach comes out today, so we'll see what she's got in store for us.
That's awesome.
In the last regional, so.
That's awesome. Well, be sure to check out Clemson Women's Basketball's Instagram. The brackets out there. I think they're in the West Division, right? I think y'all are in the West Division. Those videos are coming out today. So definitely someone to keep you entertained. You mentioned, you know, a little bit about your family life. You know, you mentioned your partner and, you know, how she's finding this whole dance thing entertaining. But before we got into the conversation, you mentioned a little bit about what she does. And so can you kind of highlight that and kind of how your at-home dynamics have changed a little bit?
Yeah. So they really only changed for me, quite honestly. Obviously, I don't go to work. She still has to go to work. She works in the healthcare field. So shout out to number one, her, and then all the other healthcare professionals out there, because at the end of the day, you guys are not quarantined. You guys still have to go to work. So she's exposed every day, just like everybody else at hospitals, doctors' offices. So who knows? She could have already brought it home. She could bring it home tomorrow. Who knows? But we're just kind of quarantining ourselves so that way we're not the problem of spreading all of this craziness. But yeah, so, you know, if she is to get it and bring it home, then obviously she won't be able to work any longer. So that'll kind of change that dynamic as well. But yeah, that's kind of where we're at. So
is there any precautions that she's taking as a healthcare professional? I know the typical like wearing gloves and wearing masks and stuff like that, but have y'all's like lifestyle changed at all with like more precautionary measures? Like, you know, I know, you know, when I was home on Long Island 2 weekends ago, and before I got there, my brother came home, I think, I don't know. He came home some way, and then because he lives in Brooklyn, and then his girlfriend came home a couple days later. She also lives in Brooklyn, but she rode a bus home, and they basically like more or less like stripped, threw a robe on, and jumped right in the shower. Like that's literally what we were practicing almost 2 weeks ago. I know that's kind of comical, but that was the reality of it. Are there any type of precautions that you guys are taking like that?
So she does x-rays. So obviously with the way that the virus is, it's all chest. So she gets tons of those. And anytime she sees that pop up, it's like, boom, the mask is on, hands are washed immediately. And then when she gets home, it's, hey, I'm going to jump in the shower. And I'm like, all right, see you later. So,
nice.
Same thing. She'll go and the scrubs immediately go into the washer. That way, whatever's on them isn't getting spread around the house. And then she showers, and then there's still some social distancing. So that way that if it is somehow still on her, hopefully we're not spreading it super, super quickly. So.
Yeah, no, I think that's important. I think it's the reality of it. Is there anything else that you want to kind of touch on with either regards of what's going on or just connecting to your athletes or things, anything extra?
Just to have fun, people. With all the craziness, you got to find some joy. So hopefully our dances bring joy to people's lives. And yeah, hopefully people truly are taking it seriously, because it does affect a lot more people than I think people are truly aware of. So
Yeah, no, I think that's totally for sure true. So I have a couple questions. You didn't know about these, but they're they're one word,
no.
one word answers. I call them my Corona fire questions. So I'll
Okay.
be referring to them as COVID questions.
Okay.
So the first one, again, try to get one word answers. What is your COVID go-to breakfast now?
Bagels.
All right, your COVID new activity.
What if it's not new?
It doesn't, I mean, something that you've done in the past.
Walks with the dog.
Okay. What about a COVID habit that you've developed?
Drink my coffee every morning. These aren't one-word answers, but
Yeah. So are you saying that a habit in the past is that you never finished your coffee?
no, I'd wait till work to get my
Okay,
coffee. So now I'm actually drinking it at home, obviously because I have to. But um, yes,
gotcha. All right, something that you took advantage of before COVID hit.
good lord. Um, Yard work.
Yes, okay. Okay, is there a go-to COVID TV show or movie that you can't get enough of?
Right now, yes, Hunters on Amazon Prime.
Really? What is it about?
You're just gonna have to watch it. I can't explain it. It's weird. My partner watched the first episode, like, I had already seen it, and I said, "You gotta watch this," and she was like, "What what do you have me watching?" Weird about, like, Nazis and how it's affected people's families, and they're invading the US, and they're trying to kill them. It's fun. Check it
Oh,
out.
okay. No, no, no. I think I've actually,
You
I
might
might have
do.
seen a preview. Yeah, for
Mhm.
sure. Yeah, no, we hit we watched. It's called like it's like either it's like Cat King or something like that,
Hmm.
or King of the Cats. I don't know. It's something. It is one of the most bizarre. It's a short series. There's only like 6 or 7
Netflix?
episodes. Netflix. Yeah,
Someone told me about this, and it's weird.
it's wild. It is wild. But anyway, thanks. Anyway, you got 2 shows to check out.
Yep.
But
Sadly, I did watch The Bachelor.
oh
Probably a complete waste of my time, but, you gotta kill time somehow.
yeah,
So,
absolutely, for sure. Well, hey Caitlin, thanks so much for being a part of this today. There's a lot of
absolutely.
really great bits and pieces that people can take out of this, and we both hope that y'all stay safe and healthy.
Thank you for having me.